All right, what's up, guys? I can't do that properly.
What's up,
No,
guys?
no, what's up,
There we
guys?
go. Another episode of Panther Airsoft Folding Table Talk, episode 36. Unfortunately, this Bill C21 is still ongoing. Um, yeah, it is. I haven't had much sleep, honestly. And our guest today
I'm
is going to
actually
be
surprised you're
Dayton.
here.
Yeah, I'm surprised
Hi.
I'm here too.
Mm.
Dayton
First
is
time on
here.
the show. Looking forward to it. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Dayton's
thanks for
here.
coming again.
Yeah, thanks for coming again. He's gonna come and talk to us about the visits from the House of sorry, not the House of
MPs,
Commons MPs that came to Panther this weekend. But we'll get straight into that once we get through some news here and as well as some airsoft news. Go ahead, Mac. We'll start you off with what's happening at the field.
We're still open. So
Oh, good.
yay.
That's good.
All right, cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, guys.
That's great news.
Because the alternative is closed,
Mhm.
and then we're just watching Dayton's old videos. And as fun as that is, Dayton,
Can't do it.
Right?
Can't stand
Yeah.
the sound of my own voice. So I can't watch my own videos.
no, you don't. You don't. He's lying, everyone. Okay, guys. So, basic field updates for right now, guys. Basically, we have our current COVID protocols. If you haven't been around, I'll explain them right now. So we've just kind of we have been trying to maintain a 10-foot social distance from anyone that's not within your household. So I know for like the families and guys that come out with their brothers and everything like that to play, totally fine. If your best friend, I'm not going to question you. Whatever, guys, it's up to you. But the main premise behind that, again, guys, is we are highly, highly, highly recommending masks. They are mandatory. We are highly recommending masks anywhere outside of your vehicle. So basically, anytime you're interacting with any of the staff or any of the other players and everything like that, try your best to maintain that social distance. And if all else fails, again, you should be wearing your masks so we don't have to worry. Again, when you're in the game area and stuff like that, guys, if you're switching over to your airsoft masks, like I'm not, it's just it's the same thing to me. So wear your masks, whether you're on the field, off the field, masks. Other than that, guys, we still are shut down primarily on the field. Gameplay will be still restricted over to airsoft side just for this week. We do have some surprises in the future, so hopefully you guys can still come out and join us for that. But as of this weekend, we're still going to be just over on airsoft side, as well as the ASG range is open on the lower field behind the barn. So if you guys want to do any target shooting, or if you guys want to test out your guns and range it up to, I think we have distanced out to about 250 feet and everything like that. So if you guys want to, go and hop up your guns and everything like that, that's the place to do it. And then other than that, guys, just try your best to be safe and, keep fighting the good fight.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Thank you for the field updates. And on to Mac with our airsoft news segment. What do we have for just world
I-
news? Sorry,
boy.
tack. No, I corrected myself.
No, I know.
I
I know you're tired.
I think
Go.
that was a bridge too far there, boy. Hey guys, Tack here for Airsoft News. So obviously, like we were talking about, the Bill C21 thing is still up in the air, so that's what everyone's talking about. But other than that, there are a couple things that have snuck in. Milsom West, for everyone out in the States, yay! For us, it's
Yay.
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 Um,
Glad you guys get to do that. Cool.
Yeah, you
yeah,
guys.
just
I'm
announced
glad
their
you're having fun.
yeah, I'm glad you guys are able to have your Milsons. Are
I'm
having
having
a
fun.
new Milsom coming up. I believe over in the Victorville, California area.
Yep.
So Big Sag, love to have gone to that. Looks like they're continuing on one of their storylines from their last event. So it'd be awesome to see any kind of videos that come out from that.
Yeah, can't
Uh,
wait to see the
Yep.
videos.
And moving on from there, we have some. I guess you can call this bad news. Yeah, we can
Oh,
have that.
not now, not right now, guys.
Not now.
more,
Yeah,
not
Not
so
more
again.
bad
so
news.
so during all of this that's going on right now, obviously, somebody had to screw it up, And so recently, U.S. police took a person under custody with a firearm at a hospital. And after being put into custody, it was discovered that they actually had a airsoft revolver. So big F on that. Luckily, they will be charged with a firearms crime because,
Good.
as they should,
Good.
being having an imitation device out of a regulated area. Hopefully, they sort of learn their lesson. At the same time, the police did give an example of what they were sort of dealing with, and it's understandable why they would treat it as such.
Oh,
But at
yeah.
the same time, this person was using it outside of an airsoft place, so he deserves everything that's coming
Well,
at him.
I think the main point that we can all gather from this is that this is not the proper use of an
Yeah.
airsoft
Mhm,
gun.
mhm.
So any repercussions that come from said action are justified, rightly so, and I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure all airsofters across Canada agree with that.
I
Yep.
don't understand how people don't realize that if your airsoft gun is not in your house or at an airsoft field, it needs to be treated like a real firearm. If
See,
somebody sees it, they're gonna go
I think that's
crazy.
the thing. I think
Yeah.
that's the thing, though. At the end of the day, when we get down to it, it's like those are the sad realities where it's like, I don't want to call someone a criminal, but that's like a pretty criminal thing to
Also,
do.
a
Like
hospital?
Yes,
that.
yes, apparently at a hospital.
Was he
So,
brandishing it? Like,
no, apparently
was he
someone saw it and
robbing a
they just called the
hospital?
police on him. So,
Yeah,
Well, he deserves to be called.
Yeah,
Like the
okay.
police deserves to come
Yeah.
down there and treat it as
Yeah.
such. So
Don't bring an airsoft gun to a hospital.
Yeah, 100%.
Don't-
No idea what he was doing there with that, but
Yep.
yeah.
No game's gonna break out. You don't have to worry.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like-
I gotta go to. Hey, I gotta go to emergency at 5, but there's a game over at 6. I gotta have that snub nose peak. Like, gotta
first
have
of
Yeah.
all, you
I
don't
would-
get your visits down in an hour, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Exactly.
it's
Also, I
not
would like to
that
remind
bad of a wait
everyone.
time.
Also, I'd like to remind everyone that airsoft revolvers are banned at Panther.
Oh, there you go.
So
Yes.
don't
yes.
go getting the
Mhm.
idea that yes, I can go get one and then bring it to. So, by the way, they're also banned.
I got the idea from
Uh,
a Dayton's old video, by the way.
Yeah, I used to use one. I know why they're banned.
Moving on, we have Runko the Bailey, legal commentator,
Mhm.
breaking down Bill C-21, just kind of giving a series breakdown of his opinions on what he sees with proposed bill, and also giving suggestions on what you guys can do for your community and such. Sort of giving, I guess, legal advice, but not legal advice. If you guys get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He
I,
breaks it down. Yeah.
He has a Discord, by the way. I joined it recently just to keep an eye on the news and stuff.
Oh,
Oh, that's
sweet.
good.
Perfect, there
Yeah.
you go.
Okay.
So if you
Yeah,
guys want to
does he go
interact with
more
them
in
there.
depth? Does he go more in depth on that one? Because that'd be a great.
I haven't seen a lot of news on it, but I wanted to stay on there just in case. So
Because anyone seriously, guys, take the time, watch his videos and stuff.
his video
It's
is good. Yeah.
All of them, honestly, and like really take your time to understand, because he really breaks it down like in a way that because like that's what I'm saying. Some of the videos can be time consuming, and some people might find it boring. But guys, there's a lot of serious information in there that you want to know.
Yeah, Bill C-21 is not just about replicas or airsoft. There's a whole slew of other things that
Yeah.
was never caught in C-72
Well,
that they were trying to
71.
roll into. Yeah.
Yeah.
71
Or
I think it was.
71, yeah, 71, yeah.
Yeah.
That was the May one.
Yeah. So
Okay, so with that, guys, that's airsoft news, and moving on, we'll get to the meat of the topic.
all right.
Dayton.
So not Dayton yet. Me.
Well, no, you gotta give yourself a better lead off than that. It's like seriously, it's like, all right, boy, back to you at the station. Like something.
Have you
come
not seen my news station? Come on, you have to have that hand off.
You're getting
Hey,
out
yeah.
news here. You're getting
Dude,
out
dude,
news.
dude, I don't have a green screen for one, and two, I don't have an OBS. So
Airsoft
Fair enough.
Airsoft news.
Did you like my green screen, by the
I-
way?
Yeah.
I-
Like
that
it's
was
top
the point.
quality?
That was
I was
You
good.
got some pretty
man,
top
this-
quality news there.
I
How
was
many
invisible. Could you
correspondents do you
even
have,
tell?
first of all?
Yeah, exactly. Who
Unlimited
is this
amount.
one-man operation? Like what?
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
we're running on free stuff and pocket lint. We don't really have the money to spend.
Pocket lint can
Don't
go
for-
pretty
don't-
far,
don't
dude.
Forget the granola bars, like
And the granola
Oh,
bars, yeah.
man.
Keep your
I'm
head.
down to just the wrappers, man. I already ate the granola bars.
All right, I'll get you guys updated here on the latest
Yeah.
developments. Last week, we had that petition come up, so it's only been about a week now since it's up, and we are up 26,000 signatures.
That's
That was in the
wow.
afternoon. That was in the afternoon. I don't know what it is now. We're probably up 300 now from it.
It's gonna be in every one of my videos. It's gonna be the
Good.
top comment pin.
So if you haven't done so, there is
And
a
in
link
the
below
description.
in the
Yes,
description.
Thank you. There we
Yeah.
go,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So still right now, airsoft is still legal. Nothing is in law yet. It's probably gonna be a while, right? If it goes through or not, but it's still legal, just to make sure. Last week, we had Shannon Stubbs. She is with the conservative, and as well as Jack Harris, NDP, publicly denouncing Bill C-21 on the second reading at the House of Commons. I will show you a little bit of a clip here of what's happened. Let me just roll it in here. Give me a sec. I'll give it to you guys so you guys can watch it too.
Is it the same link in the PDF that we have?
Yes, it's the same link. I guess. There you go.
All right, everybody play at the same time.
Okay.
Yay.
Okay, I'm not gonna play the whole thing. I'm just gonna skip through a little bit. Okay.
All right, three. Oh wait, she's gonna skip through it.
Madam Speaker,
Okay.
I have a question for the minister. The New Democrats have long been in support of banning these assault rifles, trying to make our cities safer, opposing smuggling, and trying to get the government to actually do something about it. But we do have a problem with the minister when he says that recreational use of firearms are okay. But where handguns are treated in one way under this legislation and allowing them to continue except where restricted by municipalities, airsoft rifles, which are used recreationally across this country by many organizations and groups and as a recreational activity and cause no harm, are being treated as same as assault weapons. Will the minister recognize that this is a totally different category and try to find some way of allowing this to continue, this recreational use? The banning of airsoft rifles is putting them in the same category as prohibited weapons, and that is wrong.
Another measure that's glaring in its obvious irrelevance to improving public safety in Canada while also imposing major consequences on everyday people is the prohibition of the importation, exportation, and sale of all non-regulated air guns that look like modern firearms. Here's the deal. The Liberals are actually imposing a ban on airsoft and a partial ban on paintball. Any rational common sense person can see that toy guns are not responsible for shootings causing deaths in Canadian cities. Criminals and gangs with illegal guns are tragically ending the lives of Canadians, while this provision in C-21s ends hundreds of livelihoods, legacies, and jobs, and outlaws an entirely harmless hobby enjoyed by more than 60,000 Canadians.
All right, we'll end it there. So that last one was Shannon Stubbs. The first one was Jack Harris. Jack Harris actually got to visit one of the sites over at I think he's in the maritime area.
Nova
Newfoundland?
Scotia, right?
Yeah, Newfoundland. He got to visit
he's
one
in
of the
Nova-
sites as well, which we'll get into as well on our topic as well below about having your MPs visit the site. So he got to like see, hear, and feel what the opinion is on this topic, and as well as he's working closely with one of our main reps over at that location as well. It's great to see sort of MPs coming in and sort of realizing that we exist now. Now we're out of the spotlight. We were talking about last week that we were in that gray area. It's great that for them to come out and see what our community is, what they're actually like, what is, like, you know, what the bill is trying to crush, which is basically us, the people who have toy guns, basically. So that's great that the NDP publicly denounced it. And you know, from Jack's
I just want to
yeah, go ahead.
say, boy, that member.
That member only. Yes, that's what I
Yeah,
was gonna
because
try
we
to.
are, because that's what we, yeah, because we are working towards that.
We're working towards having the party sort of align with us. Unfortunately, NDP is still sort of the party that wants to regulate guns, and as well as, you know, put a lot more controls and regulations into it. The conservative government, on the other hand, isn't the same. They're sort of the reverse. They want to sort of keep the status quo on what we have, because they're part of the gun lobbying sort of a system where, you know, if it's like the CCFR, they're always going to be with the Conservative Party. That's the whole difference between, from all the meetings that I've been having throughout this week, I've been hearing that, you know, we are a group that is much younger, much newer, and not a lot of sort of political backing into one sort of party system, which is awesome. We're a diverse group of people that is in here, coming in here and basically rattling the House of Commons rattling the political status right now, because we
Mhm.
have no standing between any of these groups. It's kind of just like, hey, we're here, and
Yeah.
you've basically taken away our toys, right? It's not
Yeah.
it's
Well,
not you've taken
yeah.
away our guns. They took my guns, right?
Yeah.
Is the
No,
word,
it's
right?
took
But
our
over
fun
here,
away.
it's different. They took our
You took
toys.
my, you took my
Yeah.
toys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then now we're
But they have
mad.
to
Why would you do
realize.
that?
Yeah, no, it's like
Exactly.
taking ice cream from a child and be like, it's mine now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
They
then
just
and
ain't get the
then
whole
No, they
playground.
didn't
What?
say it's mine
See,
now. They
they're
took
not
it and
even.
they
Yeah,
threw it at the wall.
I was gonna say they threw it on the ground. They're not even eating the ice cream.
Yeah.
This is the bad.
Yeah.
This is the bad part.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so there
Oysters.
that's from the second reading, which is awesome to hear that. I was also they didn't put in that video Bill Blair's sort of speech on it. I was so excited. I thought when they were when Bill Blair was talking about all of the C-21 sort of ruling. You know how in the very beginning they talked about replicas at the very beginning, right? And this one they left it at the end. So we got all excited thinking that they were gonna remove it and
Mhm.
modify it. But nope, we heard replicas, and then he said they're still a pretty hard line on the fact that they wanted to remove replicas and they want it to be, a crime. Yes, I understand that. Like bringing it,
Well, he said
we were
it
just
in
talking
such a short
about.
breath, though.
Yeah, we were
Okay.
we were
Yeah,
just
yeah.
talking about someone in New West bringing a replica, right? An airsoft like revolver to a hospital. It should be still punishable. We agree. Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
that is,
Mhm.
and well,
Yeah.
and that's the main thing, right? Everyone needs to know that it is already treated as a crime. Like we have great laws. Yes, we need more resources to our first responders and emergency personnel and stuff like that. Like,
Mhm.
they need to deal with a lot. But
Mhm.
seriously, like we already have some pretty great laws implemented and stuff like that. Surrounding this kind of situation and stuff. So, like, I don't think any sensible airsofter is ever going to question for this exact situation with the hospital situation why that person's arrested. I think
Mhm.
the first question they're going to ask is, why do you have your airsoft gun?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, in the end, it comes down to a responsible person
Mhm.
should be able to have an airsoft gun. That was not a responsible person.
Yeah.
Airsoft and being able to use airsoft is a privilege, and that person was not responsible enough to have that privilege.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yep.
the same with anything.
Yeah.
With cars, if you freaking crash your car into shit, you're gonna lose your license. You lose the
Yeah.
privilege. It doesn't
Exactly.
mean that you need to ban it to stop it from happening. Like it's
Mhm.
still something that can be used by an adult responsibly.
Yeah.
It's
So
horrible to hear that happen, but
Yeah.
Well,
still.
and kids, because I don't wanna ban the kids from the sport too,
Oh,
right?
of
Like,
course,
No,
of
sorry.
course
of
not.
course,
But
Yeah.
yeah.
they should have an adult watching
Well,
them if they're
they're
using it.
definitely
Yeah.
supervised, and that's
Yeah.
where it
Well, they
comes
should
down
be
to the
banned from
ping.
decision making.
Was this a minor or was it an adult that
No,
brought it
it
to
was
the
an
It
law?
was
adult.
it
It
was
was an
it was
Yeah.
an adult.
Oh,
Yeah,
So
and
yeah.
good. He
yeah,
broke
They
the
yeah,
law.
There you
exactly.
go.
Yep. There
Exactly.
you go.
And again, so sorry for minors that would and have and probably will still do these kinds of situations, whether it's like bring your airsoft pistol to like school or something like that. Big no.
Yeah,
If
We
you
don't even
do,
bring it out at freaking Halloween and we're all
yeah,
dressed up.
no,
Yep.
yeah, please,
There you
oh
go.
god.
yeah,
Don't.
yeah.
Don't bring up that one yet, because
Well,
we'll beat that drum every year.
so
But
and that's the other thing too is I know we don't have a clip of it or anything like that, but Bill Blair, when he was going about it, like Poy was saying, he doesn't mention it until the very end of his sort of like statement, and he says it in such a rushed breath at the very end where he's like pretty much like saying it's like, yeah, no, and our whole intent is to make sure that it's like doesn't exist kind of thing. Like he does not want it
well,
to.
they have no place in our
Yeah.
society
Yeah,
where
yeah,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
works, and
exactly,
it's
yeah,
like,
exactly.
They
So it's
seem
like
they
you can
seem pretty
see,
firm on just erasing it.
Yeah.
yeah,
well,
Yeah.
yeah, that's their stance on it, right?
and
Yeah.
so with that, so we know where they stand on that, and that's like what we have to try, and I don't know if we can convince them. Like a lot of people are arguing on the fact that it's not a matter of convincing or whatever it is, but I think that most of us are pretty sensible in the fact that like people like to have fun, and this is something that is fun, and like just like any sort of game or sport kind of thing, you just need to have rules in place so that you can have the fun done properly and stuff like that. And because we're not recognized officially in some sort of like legal area, like that's why it's so great that everyone's being as active and as passionate as they are right now. Like the official e-petition shows it, right? Like
Yeah.
26,000 or yeah, 26,000 signatures, right? Not saying that I believe there's more than 30,000, airsofters. I know there was a statistic that came up that said that there was that. I feel like there is a lot more just because a lot of people are shy. They don't want to reach out and stuff
Past
like
and
that.
present, man.
But
Mhm.
at the same time, that just shows, that we care and that
Yeah.
we really, hope that something, positive comes out of this.
I know there are probably also a lot of airsoft owners and airsoft players who don't follow the social media of airsoft at all, and we should figure out a way to be able to reach out to those people more often. I think these media like events that we're holding and stuff like that is a good way to get out to people.
Yep.
But I just wish we could reach those people more, people who don't know that this is happening.
Yeah, it's still slowly going up in terms of signatures, which is awesome. We haven't like sort of plateaued yet. I think we're gonna plateau at that 30K mark because from the numbers from the from the
Airsoft in
businesses, yeah, from Airsoft in Canada, the businesses that we've basically collected data from, that's the number we've basically accumulated from is about 30,000 plus. That's somewhere around there, so that's pretty good. So like from that last second reading there, ever since that last second reading there, a lot of MPs have realized, that there's airsofters out there, which is awesome. I guess the liberal government sort of like, what is it? One of the quotes from the folks that talked to a liberal MP says that you guys came from the blind side. We didn't know you guys existed until now. And that
Good.
was clearly what was happening there is basically they were going to take replicas down. They didn't realize we were under that ruling, right?
Wow, you know what? That's so funny because they don't know about the huge population of responsible gun owners. It's almost like the responsible people aren't doing anything wrong. That's so
Yeah.
weird.
I know.
Yeah.
So weird.
So
When it
it's so
sucks.
yeah.
weird.
Yeah, so
So
we
weird
came
that
out of
there's no
nowhere.
stats on responsible
What you don't
people
hear about
watching
airsoft
video.
unless somebody goes into the hospital with an airsoft gun or
With an
something.
airsoft
So,
gun?
so what you're saying is you formed your opinions on
Bad news.
Well,
not a sufficient amount of information.
okay.
Oh, okay.
What I need to ask you though is, what else is an airsoft gun used for?
As far as they know,
Yeah.
murder, and nobody's been successful at it. So
Yeah,
somebody's got to
well,
freaking work on that
yeah.
one.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
robbing stores, and I feel like that's been successful. But you know what? Hey, they get
I'm
treated as a
Yeah,
firearm
these-
crime,
You know
and
what?
they get taken.
Honestly, though,
custody,
I think that must be where their mindset is. Because to be honest,
the crime.
if the only information that I had was every time I hear about this thing, it's because it's being used in a robbery. Oh, I think maybe we should get rid of that. Like
Yeah.
that's something like you
Yeah. So
exactly.
makes sense.
we need to hit them with hard statistics because of the fact that some of the things that they introduce here, they don't have any sort of backing to it, no evidence, and they don't have the base education for what is an airsoft gun and what would you use it for. So these are the types of questions that they go through. They only get sort of their party heads will come in and be like, here's the spin on this. That's where they get their news from, or they go to the media and that's where they get the media news from, right? Depending on how the media portrays it as well. So that's the problem we're facing, is just the imagery that we're getting out of them all the time.
Exactly.
Right? When someone takes a photo of us playing, what does it look like for the regular public? Oh, it looks like a militia in training, right?
Yeah.
Because everyone's
exactly.
using guns, everyone has nice gear, everybody's running around getting their workouts. Oh yeah, no, they're definitely training for something.
Yeah, they're
right?
they're training for something.
So
yeah, exactly.
yeah. Anyways, I don't want to dive in depth to that. We all know that airsoft is replicating the real guns, and that in itself is already hard to sort of like take that out of the general public's mind. So in any case, this after the second reading, we need the most help from the NDP, the Bloc, the Conservative government, as I mentioned, is already with us. The course of action right now is removing 84.2, which is basically
the import
export sale, and as well as what else? That last
transfer of ownership.
one.
And
Yeah.
stuff.
No, the scare one, 117.2, I think, or something like that.
Was that the velocity one?
No 117.
117.03 seizure on failure to produce authorization.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just the one
You don't
where
have a
they-
non-existent license. It's
Yeah.
fine, yeah.
Yeah, you don't have a
Exactly.
license for that, but the license doesn't
Oh,
exist. Well, I'm gonna
But
take
didn't
it.
you hear Bill Blair said that these people that have prohibited
all-
weapons
they're all gonna get-
will now have prohibited licenses? You guys don't know where to get the prohibited license? I
But
thought
it
this
doesn't
was old
exist,
news.
sir.
I couldn't
thought-
find that
hey,
on their
hey,
website.
Guys,
Sorry.
I thought this was old news. Okay.
Mhm.
Damn.
So
Okay.
that is a plausible course of action right now. It's just amending or removing that, and that'll basically take care of what we were dealing with to begin with. Is that if we could remove that, we don't become criminals. And then the next step is basically trying to figure out how to get airsoft out of that replica portion, which is basically categorizing it on its own. And if we have to, regulate it with another body, bodies like Airsoft in Canada or Canadian Airsoft Association or anything like that, that'll basically pose as the governing body for that. And whatever they decide on that is basically, it's gonna come up to the SECU. So after coming through the second reading, they're going to have to vote if they want to pass this through the SECU. What does SECU stand for? It's the Standing Committee of Public Safety and National Security. Now, this is run by a few of the MPs that are in office right now. I'll go through the names here, but it's not the main House of Commons. It's going to be them sort of discussing and agreeing and discussing some more and then breaking it down into what this bill is. They're not just going to go over the replica portion. They're going to go over a whole bunch of other things that are in C21. So they're the ones that are responsible for taking care of this bill after it passes the House of Commons. And that is coming up soon. I don't know what the timeline is right now and when they voted in, but once it gets to the committee, it takes about 10 meetings for the committee to allow public input into this bill. So that means that voices, or regular public voices, now they don't just pick just regular Joes out of the street to speak for this. They're gonna speak to someone like Airsoft in Canada or the Fédération Sportive de Airsoft de Quebec, or FSAQ for the Quebec side, or people like the Canadian Airsoft Association, or people like what is this, the SACCC? I forgot what. Anyways, there's a whole bunch of bureaus as well. I had so many meetings with them this morning. There's a whole bunch of business
together.
There's a whole bunch of business bureaus, and as well as the FCCR is there as well. And then the NFA is there as well. So there's a lot of there's a lot of groups that are going to be in there. The slots are going to be limited in terms of how many people are going to speak. On the record, by the way, on this topic, right? And they're going to have to go through that. And then afterwards, they're going to start amending some of the things that they introduce from those public hearings. And then again, it's going to get passed to the House to pass it, and then it'll be sent along. What was that? We had that from the last episode where we had the sort of a sort of hierarchy of what goes on from the first reading and second. The committee.
Oh, yeah. Do you want me to? I have that. Do you want me to go through that again?
Yeah. I don't have the link here. I just realized I thought I had it here when I scrolled up, but
Here,
that's the way to go. So who are the members of this SECU? So we have the chair, which is John McKay right now. Oh, thanks. I'll go through this once I'm done here. So the chair right now is John McKay. I guess I'll pull
Liberal
up.
Party.
Yeah, I'll pull up the SCU here. So you can see here we have Honorable John McKay, who is the chair. He's not allowed to vote unless it's a tie. Right, and then you have your vice chairs, which is basically Shannon Stubbs and Christina Machaud from the Bloc Quebec, and then Shannon is of course conservative. So we already have her support. We have all of these other members here. So you got a mix of liberal, NDP, liberal, conservative, liberal, conservative. Just to note, Taco Van Popta, he was at the field this weekend as well. So we'll discuss that when we get to the field there, or when we get to that topic there. But yeah, he was pretty much like, when he was there, it's like, wow, this, what did he say? Like, this is pretty harmless. I don't
Well,
know
he
why
was confused. Yeah,
yeah, he was pretty
that we got
confused why
swept up in the
why we got swept
legislation.
up. So you can see here, these guys will basically work and vote to get this bill going, right? So you got a few liberals here, you got a few conservatives here, you got one bloc, and then you got one NDP. And that's
I have to
what we
say,
got to work
though,
with.
It's a good spread.
It's a good spread, yeah. Again, minority government, right? It's much
Mhm.
harder to pass something through in a minority versus a majority, right?
Mhm.
And I have a
But-
feeling that this is the reason why they want to sort of go for a vote, maybe this year.
Yeah. Don't
Just-
forget,
just-
guys, we have an election coming.
Yeah, so it might be an election year because of this,
Yeah.
because they can't pass a law through, right?
Yeah.
So you can see there, if you're part of, if your hometown is part of this like MP that's in this group, it's best to
Right to them.
write to them,
Please.
educate them, please, and make it sure that make them know what airsoft is and what what it is to you. It's gonna go miles in terms of when they're making that decision on the floor, right, in their meetings, or in their meetings at home. It's work from home for a lot of them. That
Yeah.
they're gonna have you in the back of their head, being, man, this local, especially if you're a business out in their constituent area, right? You're gonna they're
this day and age,
Yeah.
right now. with
they're
this
gonna be like, oh
life-
man, I didn't realize this guy was in my area running a store like this. How could I be so foolish, right? It's not. These guys always get their news from their party heads, their spin doctors in their parties, and the media, right? They're regular people like you. If a regular public did not know what airsoft is, these guys are going to be the same thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, airsoft isn't in their day-to-day life, right?
Yeah.
Just like with a lot of things when it comes to guys like this, and so when they have, like Poi was saying, spin doctors and all these other people talking to them, it's because they're being the loudest voice, right? And so now's our
That's-
time to be the loudest voice.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. We can't blame them for not knowing if we don't tell them. It's completely fair that they don't know what this is. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So once it gets to them, then it's ultimately up to them to rip this apart, dissect it, figure out what's pissing us off, and, well, not pissing us off, like bothering us, because
Well, I
This
don't know.
is-
I would
this
go
is-
as far to say I would be pissed off if
Yeah,
airsoft got banned.
I-
I would probably
yeah,
be pissed
I've
off.
lost a
Yeah,
lot of
you
sleep
threatened
over
my
the days,
job.
so so yeah, so this is what is happening to the bill currently. Right now, it's at that stage where they're waiting to vote it in, and then after it's voted in, then it's gonna go through this security or this public safety committee that we're waiting for. All right, and just to show you that chart that Tack was talking about here is where we're at right now. We are at second reading.
Exactly.
Let me
just
just zoom in
after.
there. Second reading, and then to committee stage. So they're gonna vote to send it to committee stage, and then after committee stage is done, after those 10 sort of meetings that they have, then it goes to a public hearing, and then after that public hearing, and then they redo some, or they amend some of that things that are in the bill. And then they'll send it to third reading, which will then has to pass again through the House of Commons. All right. So if at this point it becomes an election year, then this will be forgotten again, and then it'll be risen up in the new government if they have a majority again. It's gonna be easier to pass something in a majority.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Less people to talk to.
Yeah. So that is where we're at right now. So now let's jump into this weekend. So at BC
This
here.
last weekend.
Last weekend.
This last weekend.
Yeah. So this last weekend we had 5 members of the House of Commons, 5 Parliament members, or members of Parliament from the House of Commons, come and visit Panther. The news was there. Dayton was there. You had a nice mag
I
flip,
was
Dayton.
on the news there.
That was a really spicy mag.
That
flip.
was-
I did not. I swear to God, didn't even know he was recording. I thought he was all packed up. He was taking apart his shit, and we were done just playing around emptying the mags. And I emptied the mag out, and I was like, and I caught it. And you know what's funny is right after I did that, I thought to myself, I was like, damn, that would have been cool if they got that on camera.
And
then
they
when
did.
we watched the thing, we were all we were all crowded like around this little phone, socially distanced, crowded. We made
Yep.
sure to be spaced out, but it was on a little phone screen, And the whole thing was over, and we were all being like, "Yeah, that was really cool. That was really cool." And then all of a sudden, I'm there at the end, and we flipped it, and everyone just started screaming. It was the greatest thing. It was so beautiful.
This is the community we got, guys. Come on.
Just
Yeah, that was good.
flexing on global.
So-
that was beautiful.
See, these army guys wishing they could do that stuff.
See, I can do that and not get kicked out.
Exactly. Did you just ND?
Not now.
No.
So we had 5 members of parliament drop by at Panther, which is awesome. Mark Dalton was the first one to sort of initiate this. He is Pitt Meadows and Maple Ridge representative, and he was the one that invited Ed Fast from Abbotsford, Taco Van Popta from Langley and Alder Grove. By the way, as I mentioned, he's also part of the safety committee, which is great. We got Brad Viz, very loud guy, by the way. Brad Viz, very tall, very loud.
Very big presence.
Yeah, very big presence. And I thought the video of Dayton talking to Mark Dalton was going to get ruined because he was just talking right over Dayton. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, it was, he's got a booming voice.
He's got a booming voice.
He is a member of parliament.
Yeah, and that's
he
awesome.
is the parliament.
And he runs for Mission, Masqui, Fraser Canyon. Masqui?
I believe it's like the Fraser Valley area.
Yeah. So what he's saying is like he's taking care of the size of like Israel or something like that. That's the area he's taking care of, and I'm like, what? Really?
Small responsibility.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, man.
And he's like, yeah, but this guy has more cows. What is it?
Well, just a little less content.
I think he was talking to Taco. He's like, yeah, he has more cows in this area though. I'm like, that's you're measuring
that's a
sticks
measure
by
of
that.
a real man.
Those are our analytics, eh?
Yeah, and then we have Honorable Carrie Lynn D. Finley, which is the local MP for South Surrey and White Rock. So she actually, Panther is under her constituent area.
Yeah.
And she was talking to Elliot the most because she's concerned that why are they taking away your business and all of these guys' toys, which is, and all of these guys are from around the Lower Mainland, not just in her area, just all around Lower Mainland. Why are they taking it away?
It seemed like she. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, go ahead. Good.
It seemed like she, more than anyone else, really understood like what they stand to lose versus what they stand to gain with the bill, and she was really like, she seemed really knowledgeable in the fact that like, you could lose this whole business and arguably there will be no change to public safety.
And she asked a lot of really good
Yeah,
questions.
she asked a really.
She participated. She let me interview her. She shot the airsoft guns. Yeah, like
she was into it, and then
and they got competitive.
Yeah,
they did.
They did. We weren't counting the timer, but they got really competitive.
They did. They were. We weren't. They.
Yeah.
Timer for them, just so if anyone was wondering what we did set them up with just a really quick target shooting range and everything like that, and they got to learn the functions of airsoft gun.
They got to use an OCA. They started with the Ferrari.
Oh my god!
Yeah, you spoiled them. You spoiled them.
I did spoil them. I set the bar here.
They got they got their hands on some really nice airsoft.
We sanitized it, by the way. We sanitized it.
Everything
I
was
personally sanitized everything before each shooter.
Yeah. So
my hands were raisiny.
Were sanitized.
By the end of it, it was a Lysol skin.
I was drunk from touching the hand sanitizer so much it seeped into my skin.
Yeah. So Carrie, she had I think her background before being a politician was being a lawyer. So she knew what she was doing. She knew what she was talking about. I think her kids play, or not play, but her kids, well, they're probably older now, have used firearms as well. And she used to go out to shooting ranges as well and talk to the people that is out there. When the government starts introducing bills and stuff, and he'd rather talk to the people than listen to the party spin doctors or whoever is running the media campaign there. On top of that, they got to meet some of our local residents as well, people that are part of our community, us regular folks, and as well as Elliot. And then they got to meet the film industry as well. So they got to go around.
Yeah.
And right now, Panther is an active movie set, so we couldn't film anything beyond outside that shooting range. And they got to see what will happen if this law comes into place, especially for the film industry, which is BC's very heavily dependent on. This is Hollywood North we're talking about.
Yeah, I don't think anyone like even like whoever like because Bill Blair I know is the Minister of Public Health and Safety and stuff, but I don't think anyone really knew the ramifications of what this entailed.
Yeah.
Like they literally wrote it out. We're like, this sounds great from one side, and it's like, let's just send it out there. Hey, did you hit send? Did you like?
Yeah.
It's too late. You
I
can't get it back.
I didn't even think about the film industry because I've been I used to do acting. I've been on set where they've had to hire the
Armors and stuff.
gun specialists and stuff
Yeah.
like
They
that.
have
to
an
come in.
armor and a
And
gunsmith. Yeah.
they're there all day. No, like they're fantastic. Obviously, I personally I think you're going to get a better like act. A better performance out of an actor with a real one over an airsoft gun, just personally. But I understand airsoft's 1,000 times cheaper. But yeah, I didn't even think about that.
What's
Like,
cheaper and safer.
Yep.
There's a
yeah,
lot of
cheaper
things
and
that go
safer.
into
Yeah,
it, right? Like, yeah, but
Like-
of course, acting, it's a real gun,
yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
right?
So,
But like even hearing from the film industry, like personally, the representatives that we had at the field, like they outlined like how much this is going to affect them, you know, like, and it came down to the import, transport, and all of those sections,
Yep.
and then the sections that we're not even like focusing on, which I don't know if anyone has mentioned it or anything, but they did this thing about advertising with guns,
and I think that's
right?
part of
So-
your concerns, Dayton, as well.
yep.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Actually, if you want to go through
Yeah.
that, because you're probably the more expert on the advertising
yeah,
portion.
on that topic right now, literally, the way they've written it is so vague. In what basically what they've defined it as, and I'm cutting down a lot, but what they've said is if it can be considered promotion of violence between two people or promoting violence in some way or showing violence in some way, I don't even know if it would like cover like video game videos. Would that
Yep.
be considered? Like
Yep.
it all comes down to what do you decide the definition of violence between people or however they
Yeah,
worded it
exactly.
means, because the way they've worded it, it's so vague that it
Mhm.
arguably you could argue that my airsoft videos are me simulating shooting people,
Mhm.
which would be violence and
Exactly.
promoting violence too, and then also promoting products of violent products like guns and stuff. There's just so many questions that I have about if like my videos will actually fall into that category, and then the question rises of if it does fall into that category, is that a felony? Is that a felony for each video? Is that a felony for each product and video?
10 years per video.
Okay, yeah, exactly.
These
I don't think we have felonies in Canada. Sorry.
well, okay, a federal offense, like
in the
I-
criminal
definitely.
code,
I-
yeah.
Yeah.
I like. I honestly,
But
I
they
don't
do
even
threaten
know.
jail time, right? Like that's
Yeah.
the problem with this bill as well. Is under a lot of these new amendments that they're trying to add to the code, they're saying like, and then
Mhm.
this is the
Like,
this is
can you
the
imagine?
stupidity,
Just
guys,
one
of
thing.
22, right, where they took away sentencing.
Yeah.
So
22 and 21 are free. Stupid, the two of them. But
Mhm.
I just want you to imagine me going to court right now, okay? And say they've decided that my airsoft videos are promoting violence. I will be read into the courtroom as saying that I have something like 700 counts of promotion of violence and promoting violent
More.
products. I'm gonna like, I think I have almost 600 airsoft videos, and I've probably advertised 100 products. I'm gonna have
I was gonna say, yeah.
700 federal charges.
Your Instagram counts. Like you're screwed.
Yeah.
I'm going
You're
to jail
screwed.
Oh,
forever.
me too. Oh, no.
Multiple life
Yeah,
sentences.
well, I was just about to get to you, Poi. Like, you know what? You're like a 10-year vet in this. Like, you, sir, are going to maximum security.
Oh,
Well,
man.
and it was like I was trying to say too at the beginning of all this too, was like it really paves this scary road, like Dayton was also saying too, of video games as well as attacking the movie industry again. Because if
Yeah.
you're getting mad at people sort of playing into a fantasy, and then they say that fantasy things are okay, but in the reality of it, I would like to remind some people about the incident that happened with the stormtrooper chick
Oh
who was
yeah.
hanging out outside of like a store, like of a Star Wars cafe.
Well,
Okay,
a comic store. Yeah.
and yeah, and this wasn't in like America. This was in Canada of all
Calgary.
places,
Yeah.
right?
Calgary.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so she had a fantasy gun, right?
Hey, call it like it is. She had, okay, the
I-
E11 Blaster Rifle, which
Yep,
is
yep.
standard issue for stormtroopers of the Galactic Empire.
It's a Sten gun.
It looks like a gun.
yeah, but it was a fantasy gun. As
Yep.
Yep.
was argued that is okay, but obviously you guys all saw the reactions of, or people have seen the reactions of what happened with that. So it sort of leaves us to kind of scratch our heads and be like, that they're, I don't want to say it like this, but they're really full of crap. Like,
Well, I
Mm.
think I haven't heard anything about that story other than what you've described to me, but I think that
Really? You need to watch
no,
that.
I did not. I didn't. I think that sounds reasonable that people were upset about that. I mean, it's Halloween,
No.
we're wearing costumes. I mean,
So
like, I
that's
think
why
that's
it
fair.
made sense. I can't remember the time frame it was. I'm pretty sure it was like
it was just
spring.
before May 4th. It was just before
Yeah,
May
Yeah.
4th.
spring.
I'm pretty
That's what
May
I
sure.
meant.
4th.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's what I'm saying. It was like
So
a
they
Star
were like
Wars
doing like a
promotion.
double entendre thing and stuff like
Mhm.
that. And on top of that, the context. You got to look at the context of it too, right? It's like this person is the mascot of the
Yeah.
location. The business owner's coming out screaming at the cops saying, "What are you doing?" And then, like, I don't know about you guys,
No,
but
Ty.
cosplay stuff is expensive,
Yo,
I
and they
want to.
toss her
Yeah.
to the ground, and she has a bloody nose out of the whole
Get
thing,
to
and
the
you're
I
just
want
meat
to
of
like,
see
it
it.
too.
I
Once
want to
they
see
Uh,
this
once they
video.
found out that it was an airsoft gun, because like that was being yelled, or like no, it was like a toy gun or something, like because that's what it was.
yeah,
Like sorry, not an airsoft gun. It was like
they didn't even
like
de-escalate from
no,
there.
no, no, no. They reiterated and escalated it further. Like they were like,
Yeah.
put the gun down, and it's like it's a toy gun, it's a toy gun or something, and then the cop like repeated, put the toy gun down, and then like when they like, yeah, like you gotta watch these
Yeah.
videos.
We'll show it to you,
I gotta
Dayton.
look this up. I gotta
Yeah.
look this up. Oh man. No.
But yeah,
Like
so that's
I'll
just
feel bad
one
for her
example
and
though.
hope she's
Yeah.
good. I
Yeah.
hope she's
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
But and I just bring that up though as because that's a pure example of of a fantasy gun thing going wrong. A lot of people might argue, oh, they shouldn't have been brandishing it out in public. But again,
She
context of
should.
the situation was just that she
Yeah.
was working for a location and she was a mascot. It was close to May 4th or whatever it was, or if it wasn't, because my memory sort of fades me on it.
I'm
Point is
pretty
that
sure it was. Yeah.
she was working, right?
Yeah.
You're an establishment, so there was context on that. And
Mm.
then let's say, for example, like we say, not in public. So like cosplayers and stuff like that. Again, you have to look at the context of it. If they're gonna, want to say that fantasy guns are okay and stuff like that, so then that means a guy carrying like kind of space marine gun with the giant chainsaw, which is like so dumb because it's so heavy. Like,
A
but
chainsaw rips.
Yeah.
but I'm just saying, if someone has like some,
It'll help.
fantasy gun like that,
40K.
are they going to be treated the same way because they're at an anime con? So
Well,
it's a scary thing to
actually,
think
ask
about.
them right there. Hey, Poi, you went to Anime Revo as airsofters. How
Oh
did that
boy.
go?
Oh yeah.
So they have strict rules on things where they have
Yep.
to inform the police.
Yep.
Actually, Paul, Kruger is one of the people that actually wrote all the ruling for all those events. And yeah, he had the he had things like removing the engine, removing the battery, and as well as the barrel, like inner barrels and stuff for all of
Yep.
these things, so it does not discharge a projectile.
Doesn't have the capacity.
Doesn't
to,
have the
yeah.
capacity
Literally
to.
inert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or things like a bow cannot have what is it, like the string on it, so that you can't
Right.
exert any force out of it or anything like that.
Can't
Just
do it.
common sense stuff.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
a lot of these things always been self-regulated for a lot of these conventions, and Paul wrote some of these things. So if you want, we could do another segment where we talk about jumping into conventions and stuff. How do they work their sort
Well,
of
have they worked in the past?
Yeah, how do they work their
because
gun
these are the things
policies? Yeah.
too. The government has kind of come in with these like sweeping reforms, and like they're not talking to any of the people that
Yeah.
and it sucks because they're taking the stance of, oh, we didn't know, right? But it's like it's kind of like, because like this is what I'm saying where it comes to like paintball and airsoft. It's like, yeah, you might not know airsoft specifically as the sport, but you need to understand that this could have affected some kind of shooting sport.
Yeah.
Where it's
Yeah.
like, why else were these guns brought into the country?
Wasn't
Not
that
everyone's running into a hospital.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Wasn't that the first question that Carrie Lynn had when she was talking to everybody? Did anybody from the government consult you guys? And we all
Yeah.
said No.
No.
No one in Canada.
Yeah,
We have
no
an
one did.
entire group that's been formulated because of this. None of us were
Literally,
consulted.
it would have
30
taken one call to any airsofter. They would have said, "Hey, we're thinking of banning airsoft," and that person would have said, "Do you have any idea how much of a blanket statement that was? Like, are you banning it in movies? Are you banning it for like people playing it? Are you banning it
It's a
for like
loaded question, sir.
like what does this mean?"
Yeah. You mean like ban, like all gone? Because
Yeah,
we need to
like
talk about this.
That question is the doom shotgun. What are you doing? Like,
yeah, like sorry, what? Yeah, damn.
Yeah. On top of that, while at Panther, Elliot also provided what we call a paper petition for the field. We had
Very fashion.
we had people sign it from the field. A paper petition is basically for a singular business to give to Parliament or someone, a member of Parliament. In this case, it's Mark Dalton. If you haven't seen it, we have a video of it at Panther Airsoft Facebook or its Instagram, where we showed Elliot passing the paper petition to Mark Dalton, and Mark Dalton will take that paper and actually present it to Parliament, saying, "Hey, this bill is gonna yada yada yada.
directly affect.
It's gonna directly affect this business, and this business has a lot of people coming in here, has a lot of good people coming in here. Why are you targeting these guys, right?" So hopefully that gets through. Hopefully other paper petitions from other fields as well or locations come through as well to your local MP as well. If you don't know how to do a paper petition, please, if you're a business owner, go up to Airsoft in Canada and ask them to place a paper petition for you. It's actually very simple. You just need a registered business license for your business, and you just need at least 35 signatures, actually 30 signatures, 35 just in case they can't read the other signatures in there, and that'll be good to go. So that was passed along, and generally it was a pretty friendly sort of meet and greet. I didn't think we have any issues. No one was screaming, they're gonna take away my guns. Why are you taking away my guns? Like, again, these are conservative folks that are already with us to begin with.
Yeah.
So, but it
hoping
would be
for the
nice.
other guys,
Would be
but-
nice. I mean, it's an open invitation. If the NDP wants to come in here and learn a few things about airsoft,
Liberals.
I'm
liberal.
still waiting to hear from mine.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
who's
Yeah,
your
well-
MP there, Dayton?
So actually talk to us about
Michael Wilkinson, I think his name is.
that. So
Yeah.
you reached out,
he-
right? Yeah.
I messaged him. It's coming up on 2 weeks ago now. I messaged
Okay.
him again like 4 days ago or so, saying, "Hey, still eager to talk to you. Love to set up a phone call." I let him know that we talked on CKNW. We were on Global. Like,
Yeah. It's
still no message back. The other people that I sent like the video to that I made, they responded the next day. So it's not like the emails aren't working. Like, I got the
Yeah.
response that said it was sent, and other people are reading
bruh,
my
you
Did
email.
you get an
Yes.
auto email response at least?
I got the auto response.
Oh,
Yeah.
Everyone's getting
So-
that right now from
Yeah.
just anyone from the Liberal Party. It
I'm
seems that they
tempted to show
know.
up at his office and be like, "How's it going, bud?
Yeah, well,
Want to talk?"
Ticker jobs.
I have
My
those
toys.
same feelings too, just because like Jamie Sin's office is just literally a couple blocks away from our place too, and obviously he's probably not there, right? Him being the head, and he's probably over,
You could still
back
submit
east and stuff like that.
a letter
But-
mail to his box.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But he like for anyone, you can
As-
still get the message.
As
to
the
them.
representative of your area, they should at least, like acknowledge, like not from an auto reply, but acknowledge the issue, right? If they're ignoring it, they know that something's going on, something's happening, and then
That just lets us know that something's going
yeah, and then
Mhm.
there is faults. Sort of again, there are faults developing, and sort of like fragments of Liberal Party members are saying, "Wow, that's kind of silly," but that's like off air, sort of not a public statement from these guys, right? It's like
Yeah.
we all know that there's gonna be one Liberal politician or NDP politician that has their kid playing airsoft,
Yeah.
right? It's
exactly.
got
Someone's
There's
kid's
got-
gotta
there's
gotta
got to
be
be
one.
one or two,
Yeah.
right?
More.
and-
yeah.
And it's just one of those things where it's kind of counterintuitive. Like, you're banning something, your party's banning something, and then your kid plays it. right?
Mhm.
Where do you stand in that, right? So
Yeah,
that's kind of a difficult choice.
Well, did you
Yeah.
guys see the picture of Justin Trudeau like out playing paintball?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like he's just getting one game in before we ban it.
Yeah. Well, he tried it. He didn't like that he lost, so he's
He
just
probably
getting
got
rid
shot.
of it.
He
Yeah,
probably got
yeah.
hurt.
See, that's
Oh.
what happens when you play speedball. You don't do that
Hey,
first.
no
Play
hate, no
airsoft,
hate, no
not
hate,
paintball.
guys, no hate.
No, I love paintball. I wish.
Hey,
we
paint.
could get
I
back.
started
Just
with paintball.
paintball is part of the fight here too, guys. So let's not make
Yeah.
fun of them.
They're both getting banned.
Yeah,
so there you go.
So the meet and greet was great. It's awesome. Here are, I guess, before I jump into that, how was it for you guys? I know I was pretty busy with just sort of herding the cats and trying to make sure everybody plays nice and the COVID rules and stuff. How was it for you guys? I'm sure, Dayton, you had a lot of talk with the media there.
Yeah, I had a good time talking to the guys from Global and the guys from, or all the MPs. They were all fantastic. I was
Yeah.
able to interview two of them, and yeah, it was good. They had wonderful things to say. They had really good like information. They had great like they offered up information that I didn't even think of, like things to pursue and topics to talk about. They sort of helped me refine my stance on it and like helped me understand what I think about the topic and how I think that airsoft should be identified as in the future and stuff like that. And they also made me think about like where airsoft can expand and be used, and like through this sort of awareness raising, how we can actually make some progress in airsoft that maybe otherwise we wouldn't have been able to.
So it's a
I think a
benefit
lot of
for
good, yeah,
both of us. They learn something and then we learn something.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely a lot of back and forth.
What
with
about
the-
for
with
you,
learning that.
Mac and Tack? Whoever wants to go first.
Tack.
Oh, well,
No, you, no, you, no,
it,
you.
it was good. You know, I talked to them and I got their opinions and stuff like that, and you know, I expressed my opinions on everything like that. Obviously, I guess the topic hasn't been touched on a lot, and I can understand, I guess, why they would avoid it. But like, I was focusing a lot more on like the kids aspect of it and stuff like that. Not sort of in the sense of like a violent sort of aspect of it, but of just getting them doing something. You know, obviously everyone has fun playing video games and stuff like that, but it's also healthy to be out there and stuff. And I find that not saying that everyone doesn't play sports, right? I'm sure all of us here have dabbled in playing some kind of sports and stuff like that. But um, sometimes, you know, there are people out there who don't find a place in that. And at least with airsoft, it's a activity that is active, right? You have to run around, you have to move around and stuff like that. And so it's not a stagnant sport. And if you are, you're leading a very boring airsoft life.
Yeah.
Like even Dayton here being a sniper, right? He still moves around all over
Yeah,
the place.
shoot,
He's not
move,
sitting in one
shoot.
spot, you
For a
know.
sniper, you're
So
pretty fast.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So you know, with that, you know, it's like I don't want them to take that away, because I see a lot of good kids and I see a lot of great potential, and there's a lot of stuff that people don't touch on. You know, there's a lot of like cool, interesting things that come with airsoft. You know, like the mechanical engineering side of things, the electronic side of things, and um when little, you know, kids get involved and they tinker with things and stuff like that, you're really able to like sort of I guess harness that youthful energy that they have and sort of focus it on something that's positive for them, instead of like, you know, harming, you know, like you know, themselves, doing something really really dumb, or you know, sitting around all day watching TV or something like that. You know, getting them doing something productive and stuff like that, because like every little thing is like, you know, a useful skill and stuff like that. And I don't think there's any harm in it, you know, like learning how to solder, you know, learning how like the gears and everything work and stuff like that, or guys who just like learning how to accessorize something just so that it makes it look cooler and stuff like that, right? I feel like there's a place for everyone and everything. And um, just with the kids and stuff like that, I feel like it's a great place for a lot of people to, you know, sort of grow, and you know, as well as like with the team factor, right? You know, I know a lot of us, you know, like to hang out with groups of friends and stuff like that. So you know, it's a great way to meet people and, you know, grow sort of like I guess, your friend base and your community.
Yeah, and they understood that from when they met us. We were
right
pretty
from the start.
friendly. We
Yeah.
were
Mhm.
right away. We're like a group of friends, even though we're so like we're from different cities and everything like that. Like with different walks of life. Even we're such a
Mm.
diverse group. What
That was the
about you?
main
What about
thing.
you, Mac? What did you find
Well,
from that meet
okay,
and
so
greet?
just expanding on what you just said there, I think that was the really big eye opener, and it was really great for them to be able to kind of see that firsthand. Is just how spread out this community really is and everything like that, from talking to Dayton, and so I didn't do much talking. I did talk to the MPs. I did get to share a bit of my opinions and everything. They align a lot with what TAC and Poi and you guys have already touched on, obviously. But the main things that I was doing was I was working. So Poi, like, I know you noticed and didn't, but I was also behind the scenes just corralling and making sure that the crowds were all making sure that we could, follow our COVID guidelines as well as have a safe and productive time and everything. The times that I did talk and everything, again, I reiterated the community factor and about my personal experience about just, how I literally would not have met any of you amazing people without this airsoft hobby. I was in a completely different place in my life 4 years ago, and we're hitting right now COVID 2021 moving on, and I am in a completely different place in my life now. And again, airsoft has been there for me. The community's been there for me, and yeah, it's one of those things where I'm really willing and have been fighting tooth and nail to make sure that we save this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, one thing I'd thought of just as you guys were speaking is like that's one of the beautiful things about airsoft is it's probably the only sport where you can have someone play it at the same time being first day brand new and being 10 years into it. And you could and you could have the same amount of fun. Like name
Mhm.
another sport where someone can hop in with no experience and still have the same amount of fun and play at the same time as somebody who's been playing the sport for 10 years.
Mm.
Like that's
Golf.
something that's
I
something
was just,
special.
oh my God, boy,
Golf.
I was gonna say
Okay.
mini golf.
No, and have
Like,
fun and still have fun. And
Yeah,
still have
yeah,
fun.
oh,
exactly. And still have
oh my
fun. That's an
God.
Yeah.
important part right there.
Like and not only that, but a lot of people at Airsoft, as I was talking to other players there, I noticed that there's sort of an emergence of a new generation of people who are choosing airsoft ownership over gun ownership.
Mm,
Mhm.
And
Mhm. Mhm.
honestly, that's I when I was talking on CKNW, I had said that I wanted to talk more about how it can be used as a tool, and I didn't get a chance to touch on it. But that was one of the things that I wanted to touch on was that a lot of people are choosing to own airsoft guns and not real firearms. They live in the city; they don't see a use for it. And if you're talking about getting guns off the streets, anyone who owns an airsoft gun doesn't own a gun anymore. That's one more gun
That's
sitting in
one
a
less.
closet
well,
that
and most of
that
the
doesn't
people are
have to
just
be.
trying to collect that or something like that.
Yeah,
It's something that's
exactly.
it's
It's a
unobtainium.
hobby.
But
That's what it
but
is,
this
right?
but this bill is doing the exact opposite. Like I had said, I touched on it. I said if this bill goes through, now me who otherwise wouldn't own a real gun has to sell or get not even sell, get rid of my airsoft guns and buy a real gun to stay in the sport. That's another gun that's got to sit in my closet and possibly get stolen and used for crime.
Yep.
It's
Or
like
banned.
it's
Yeah.
doing the exact opposite.
Actually,
Like
you had that one quote, and Sean from ASIC actually quoted it. It was a great quote from actually you, Dayton, and I was laughing because I knew
Oh.
where it came from.
sure.
It's it was when we had one of our meetings this morning. So
Hmm.
he quoted saying, "So for us to even own sort of like a replica firearm or firearm, we would have to get our license, buy a real firearm, and then we would use it to play, which is perfectly legal apparently.
Yeah.
Versus buying an airsoft gun, illegal now to buy,
Mhm.
and that doesn't harm
Avocado, yeah.
anybody.
And playing a sport
And
that no
playing a
one could
sport.
ever possibly get hurt.
Mhm.
Shooting at a range, I'm sure
Mhm.
you go there 100,000 times, 100,000 times nothing bad would happen. But then that 100,001 times, there's an accident at a shooting range, and an
Mhm.
accident at a shooting range is something a lot more serious than an accident in an airsoft field.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, and like some arguments I've heard from some people because of I'm sure everyone's seen the burn my patch videos
Yeah.
and all those horrible videos that are out there that like express some of the bad sides of airsoft,
There's a
where
lot of
it's like
cringe.
they're like, oh, HPA, you can harm someone with that. And it's like, well, yes, but then it's just like, why do you go from 0 to 100 instead of going 0 to regulation?
Yep.
That's
Because
why fields have rules.
Yep.
yeah, and it's like obviously we self-regulate and we do a great job at trying
Yeah.
to, mitigate a lot of the problems that come with that. But, if, hopefully they could make some sort of law that's in place, then manufacturers are under the onus of having to set some sort of standard because they don't, because they aren't forced to or something like that. Like there's like a lot of things that need to be done or should be done to help make our sport safer in their eyes as well as our eyes,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
it's like,
All right. So that was last week. We had a lot of fun. Just talking to everybody. Actually, I haven't seen a lot of these folks in a while. These folks came out to brave, the COVID protocols that we have. Some of them I haven't seen in a while, which is awesome to see them, in a safe distance and a safe manner. And it was great to see them, and then interacting with the MPs and stuff. I got my voice out for a lot of the businesses because I do help Panther a lot, and as well as Dayton and Trigger and whoever else is there. So before we move on to the next topic here, Dayton, I believe you have to go soon.
Yeah, I do. I got to get
Yeah.
running here.
But thank you very much for
Yeah.
jumping in for this segment of from last week. Hopefully you had fun. I know you did. But
Yeah.
any last words before you leave here, and then we'll continue on.
Yeah, I mean, like, I know everybody's doing their part, and I guess I just want everyone to know that, like, everybody, all of us here are working together. I have no reservations about speaking on behalf of anyone who needs to be spoken for. Thank you, all of you guys, for all the work that you did for that weekend, and for giving me the opportunity to speak to those MPs. And yeah, I think we got a long way to go, but I think we've been making a ton of progress in the time that we've had. And it's really easy to look at how far we have to go in something, but I think we can take a sec to say we've all been doing really good work, and if we keep this up, we have a really good chance of making it not happen.
Yep.
So just good job, everybody. Keep it up, keep your heads level, and don't freak out. Take it one step at a time, and we can make this thing happen.
All right, thank you,
Anyways,
Dayton.
yeah, thanks for joining us, Dayton.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, take it easy, buddy. Thank you.
Toodaloo.
All right, and then there was 3. All right, so we were talking about just 5 representatives coming in. That was unprecedented, actually. That we were probably the first field to get, well, not the first, but the first largest event for MPs to come down, which is freaking awesome. Again, a lot of hard
we had
work.
multiple.
Yeah, we had a
Yeah.
lot of hard work
I
that was
think
put in
that's
it.
the thing, that you
Yeah.
should be able to focus on, Boy, because again, you did a lot of hard work. We had multiple members of parliament there. We were able to express multiple viewpoints from a varying source of the community and everything like that. Unfortunately, they weren't really geared, like, because I know a lot of people asked, did they play?
Yeah.
So they weren't geared up or ready, or maybe like.
Well, what they weren't. What do you expect? They had no idea what they were running into.
Yeah.
Although I have to hand it to them, though. They did bring proper footwear.
Yep.
So I commend them on that factor. I was expecting some really bad
Sneakers.
footwear, like sneakers or something like that. Yeah, but no, they actually.
No,
came in
I
some
saw the
boots and
gummies
stuff
come
like
out, and I'm
that,
like,
so,
that's a
Yeah,
smart
yeah.
move. It was raining
Yeah,
last
yeah.
night.
They knew what was going on.
Yeah. So we're gonna provide you some tips on how to get your local MP to visit your field and or business, and as well as prep for it in a way that is sort of a useful tool for you to push, airsoft out of this C21 bill, because you're not just going in there and telling them, hey, come over and just relax a bit. You're telling them, this is what I'm losing. This is what you're gonna take away from us. Again, if you could get any one of these other parties other than the Conservative Party, which it's great too that you could get the Conservative Party in there, then at least they would see what's going on, right? If you could get the NDP and as well as like the Liberal Party or the Bloc to come in to your local business and show them what is going on, rather than getting the news from the media or their spin doctors over at their party heads, right? So go ahead.
Yeah. Well, so poise, exactly. Like that's the way we really want to be able to frame it, is because like, like there's a lot of people out there in the community, guys that are watching and stuff like that. If you've already talked to your MPs, thank you. This is great work already. The work still needs to continue. So for us, and I know it was easy because again, the Conservative MPs of those ridings already have some particular views in that manner and set. So if you guys are reaching out to your MP in your constituency in the Lower Mainland, and they happen to be of those party officiates, right? Like, you know, we have the Liberals, who are the controlling minority government of Canada right now, and then we also have the NDP, which is, you know, a sizable opposition party and everything like that. So, guys, constituents are spread out all over the Lower Mainland. Write your letters, write your MPs. If you guys want to reach out and invite them out to Panther, you're more than welcome to. Okay,
Yeah.
just please contact us, because we're going to do our
Or
best to help.
if you're watching this from another province, right?
Mhm.
Look at your local stores, airsoft stores that is in your constituent area. If you are running
Exactly.
a business as well, and you have a
Mhm.
registered business license, right? The businesses speak more
Mm-hmm.
on someone, like on a single person versus
Especially
yeah,
right now.
yeah,
Governments love money.
yeah, and especially with COVID and stuff, it's it's
Yeah,
heavily
like,
impacting businesses, right?
mhm.
So
They got
that's
a big debt to pay off.
yeah, so that's
Well, I
that's
mean,
one of the
yeah,
first things you
exactly.
gotta. That's the first things you gotta do is go out there and just write or call, right? If you have a business that's out there, tell them to call up their local constituent area, right? Because that'll get the ball rolling. It's better to have a business ask them to come over than a regular person or customer or patron to ask them to come over and say, hey, this is
Well, that doesn't
this
mean
is my
not do
friend's
it, right?
business or
Though,
something like that,
because
right?
it has to do with like just like I think the weight of the issue is really, guys. It's gonna
Yeah.
get down to the repetitiveness. If we're able to kind of like sway them with just the numbers of us coming together and politely expressing our views, because again, we don't want to be those guys that are coming out and saying that they're going to take my guns, and like, you know, like, oh, it's all the government's fault and everything like that. Like, guys, there's things we can do. We caught this fast enough, right? And yeah, you know, we're all in this together, so yeah,
Yeah.
there's no need to
So once you've gotten them talking, right?
Mhm.
Make sure you throw them sort of statistics. If you need help and talking points with that, we got key talking points that we could, reach out. Things like airsoft is meaningful, or is not a meaningful threat to the public safety. One that they were talking about public safety at the very beginning. It's not. You could sort of take that talk point right there and just say, there's no threat to public safety in here, right? Everything that we do has always been sort of self-regulated, right? You always, when you're transporting it, you're always putting it in a gun bag or some sort of concealed bag. You only take it out when you're at the field or at home, right? Or at a range or some sort, or going to a store, right? We don't sell anybody to under 18
without a parent
without
or
a
legal
parent.
guardian present.
And
Yeah.
then another key point is basically value to the airsoft players. What kind of value does it give to you? Now, this is plus on my side here, especially where we are in BC. We always, this is the first thing I said to everybody when we had that big meeting at the very beginning of our meet and greet is, guys, I'm not gonna tell you what to say, right? These are just key talk points, but the value of airsoft to you. What does airsoft mean to you? Last week we had those videos playing at the very end of our podcast saying, what does airsoft mean to this single person, right? It could mean a lot of things, but to the single person, it means blank, right? For me, it means, my friends out there, my abundant of collection, but a whole bunch of other things, right? Whatever it means to you at heart, just go through it. It could also mean things like your physical fitness, your mental fitness. No, not fitness. Your mental, what is it? Health, mental health, right? It cured you from something like depression or anxieties or just social awkwardness. The friends that you developed over the years you've been playing airsoft, right? That's a huge bonus for you, especially if you don't own a business and the only thing you do is play airsoft. That is the number one thing that you gotta emphasize to your local MP is like, yeah, this means a lot to me, right? Now, you could say that on an email and do that. All right, those are just key talk points that you could send out to your email. But when it comes to them coming down and visiting you, right, and then them hearing your story, you have more time to talk to them when they're down on a site or in a business and letting them know, the values, right? That you would express that more. You could even go over things like economic damage of C21. What's it gonna mean for someone who owns a business? Your local site will lose money, right? You're not going to be
Well,
able to
they're
play.
gonna close.
Yeah, they're closed,
Yeah.
right? The local airsoft store, like let's say 007, was it 007 that just opened up $1 million site? They're going to
No,
be,
that's Prince George. They're opening up a 1 million square foot warehouse apparently, and then
yeah,
007 is also opening
yeah.
a indoor facility with
So
a bigger
people like that
showroom.
who put their time, effort, and money into something that they believed in so much that they would open up a store and help you guys get the things that you want, right? That's
Yeah.
that's the rule of economics, right? Like you open a business because there's a demand for it. That's a huge damage, right? For them, right? And for them alone. So if you're a business owner, you focus on that. And things like political liability, right? Things like you are um especially in BC here, we're such a in the field, we're such a diverse community, right? I know for a fact that we're not all like conservatives because that's
Yeah,
what they
100%.
label us right away because they think, oh, guns, you must be conservative. No,
Anytime there's a
we are
gun involved.
not. There's
No,
people
you'd
out
be
there that
surprised.
you'd be surprised how different
Yeah.
walks of life are in here, and it's just different people. So them coming out there going, wow, that's amazing. There's a variety of different folks here that has different political opinions, different political standings, and it's just awesome. It's great to see, right? Especially when they have the time to see it, right? Because when they're reading through emails, it's not personal. It's just reading through a wall of
Business.
text,
Yeah.
right? It's
Yeah.
just business to them. But when you get them out there, then you could express your feelings right away, your opinions right away on the bill, and as well as let them know like, hey, I'm in your local area here, and there's actually this many people that play this sport, and then they're gonna be like, oh, I didn't know there was this much people. I didn't know you guys existed to begin with, right? And then you could tell them like, yeah, we operated in a gray area for so long because we didn't want to get spotted. We don't want to get outcasted by society or the community, right? But we feel so much better when we're at the field or we're at a group of friends that actually play airsoft. And again, we all come from different walks of life, right?
Mm.
So having them come down and you being able to gather influencers or representatives of your teams, your community at your field is the best way to sort of introduce them to airsoft. Make sure that they feel comfortable
Mhm.
when they're there. Cater to them if you have to. Show them a few airsoft guns here and there. And of course, number one rule: make sure you're COVID safe because this is COVID times. Because of the fact
Yeah.
that it is, some of them you have to make them feel safe with those protocols as well. Um, on top of that, once you got something scheduled out for these folks to come by, make sure your local business knows it, or if you are the local business, let the media know that they're
Mhm.
coming by. It is heavy weight on someone that is working in the media to sort of cover something that is C21 related right now because it is such a big topic, and a lot of media is now calling a whole bunch of like organizations like Airsoft in Canada, or even just I think in general Panther's gotten a lot of media calls as well for just phone interviews and such, and let them know that the local MPs are coming, and then it's a good time for them to bring out the cameras and film what they think about this airsoft that was like didn't exist for them back then,
Mhm.
right? Like the media doesn't even know what airsoft is, right? So they're slowly piecing together what it is. For
Mm.
them, it's just a
Metal
replica
BBs.
gun, metal BBs.
Yeah. Like
Well,
every
that
time I've talked to someone, they always like say it's like you guys are shooting each other with those metal BBs. You guys are crazy, and I'm going like,
well, everyone from the older generation stuck thinking of that
um,
Christmas Story scene with the guy and he,
with the
and
Red
the
Ryder
dad.
BB rifle.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Everyone's dad telling him you're gonna shoot your eye out, and then what's the kid do? He goes and shoots
shoot
his
his
eye
eye
out.
out. Yeah,
Uh,
unfortunately. So media is one of those things that we have the greatest power on. Us as
Perception.
individuals, we could actually go out there and contact our local MP, right? Before any of this happened, I didn't realize how easy it was to contact your local MP. That's
Mhm.
if
Mhm.
if there wasn't really a big issue, right? It's actually
Yeah.
just easy to just email them and then ask them, hey, what's going on? I'm from this area. I'm just worried about something something. and then they'll email
Yeah, and they'll
back.
get back to you.
Yeah, but now it's like it's such a big deal because everybody's doing it, and it's awesome what you guys are doing. Keep doing it.
Auto message.
Yeah, it's just they can't ignore us. Honestly, guys, they it's got to a point now where the media is trying to get as much information from our sport as much as possible. And again, they don't know what it is, so it's up to us players to educate the media and as well as the people on what we do and what we play and what sport we have and what hobby we have, right? And what it means to us, right? Because they could take things south so fast when you show them the wrong imagery, right? And that's why you got to do this perfectly when you're doing a visit with your MP or even with the media, right?
Yeah.
Call up the media, have them come down, make sure that they know that, you know, so and so is coming to visit at this time. You know, if you want to know things for C21 in relation to airsoft, there you go. Just let them know. It's been at the initial start, it was pretty difficult to get the media to come down to get them to sort of cover airsoft because I think they didn't just know it much, and it wasn't really big on the press a couple of weeks ago. And for them to come down, it was very difficult. We were lucky that we knew someone that knew someone at Global, and then they were able to send word saying, "Hey, the MPs are coming down. You want to film this?" And that's awesome. So if you know someone who knows someone at your local media station, call them up.
Connections.
Yeah, connections work.
Poke 'em.
All right. So when that day comes, make sure that, you know, everybody, your local representatives know what they need to talk about. You know, just don't yell at the politicians. They are not like there to stand and get yelled at because they introduced some silly law, right? That they didn't know anything about, and that's the reason they don't know anything about it, right? Educate them, right? Give them the key talking points, like, you know, things like it's not a threat to public safety. Look at all the people that we have here. Do they look threatening? And the value you get out of it, you know, that personally for all of these people, they come here for many different walks of life. The economic damage, you know, you're going to destroy this business that's in your local constituent. And then political liabilities, meaning, you know, these guys all come from different voting sort of people that voted for different political backgrounds, and for them, like, they feel that this is wrong. And yeah, just showcase them what airsoft is, educate them that day, bring them around if you can. Would be funny, honestly. Get them in one of the games or let them observe a game.
No, I want one of them to play.
Yeah.
I know the meme of the weekend was 1v1 let's go, we'll settle this or something like that.
Yes, that's all.
1v1 rust, let's go.
That's all I want to see.
So that was the meme. And we know it was a joke, right? Understandably, but everyone, you know, please, let them decide what they want to do. Let them be comfortable with it. If they want to play a game, you know, go light on them guys, because these guys are politicians, right? Yeah. So let's not.
I hope they got a good experience, and I hope actually one of them comes out in their spare time to just come out.
Yeah. No.
Naturally.
After the 5 MPs sort of were done with the tour and the meet and greet, we asked them, I was like, hey, you know, anytime you guys want, come on by, and we'll put you in a game or something. And then they're like, maybe. You know, again, airsoft is not for everybody. You know, it's not for anybody. But
they can see the good in it. They can see what we gain from it, and they can see that, again, the main topic that they're pushing right now is public safety. It doesn't affect public safety.
Yeah.
Want to get your yayas out in a healthy way and get revenge on the guy 2 cubicles down from you? Panther Airsoft is the party you should be going to.
Yeah, so if you have your local MP who doesn't like the other local MP who always yells at you on the floor in the House of Commons, bring them in down and get a one.
Interrupt my question period.
1v1 right now at the airsoft field, Gulag. 12 noon Sunday. Let's go.
Gulag, let's go.
We're bringing back duels.
Yeah. So technically, it's still legal, isn't it?
Yeah, Madam Speaker, I challenge him to a duel. Point of order.
Who knew that we would be
I have never
taking
paid attention
yeah, we would
to
pay
the House
attention
of Commons
to
so
the host.
much.
Yeah, because for me, I've been paying attention a lot, and I find
Well,
that it's actually they're actually funny in there because it is their job, right?
nowadays, okay?
Yeah.
Nowadays, because you understand the language and you also understand the goings on. I
Yeah.
remember growing up and learning about the House of Commons channel in Canadian TV, and I was like, so they're working. What are they doing?
When
It's
do they
like,
fight?
When do
Airsoft
they
will be the
fight?
fighting grounds.
someone
Oh my
throws a
God.
chair.
No, that only happens here, bud. But they are still people. They
Yeah,
can
at the
be.
end of the day.
At the end of the day, they're still people. They're still people that take care of their representatives, and you are part of their constituent, and they have to listen to you, right? So just keep sending those emails, keep sending those calls, because they can't ignore you. They can't ignore us. We are people as well, and they should be
Yeah.
taking care of us. They should be,
Mhm.
right?
They're there
So
to listen to us because they're our representatives.
yeah,
So if they hopefully care about their job, they will listen to the people they're representing.
yep. And that is the way to get your local MPs to visit your store or field. Kind of difficult right now because of the fact that there are parties, well, liberals in a sense, they don't want to dabble in this topic right now because they've basically kicked the hornet's nest in terms of us taking away our toys. And all of a sudden they're like, oh shoot, we didn't expect this, right? And if we could just break them one rock at a time or one MP at a time and realize that, this is happening to them, hey, that's still progress in my eyes, right? A small little pebble or like a stream of water,
Mm-hmm.
we'll just carve away at a rock. It'll take a while, but it'll just
Eventually
it'll
break down.
break down and go through. So
Yeah.
keep
Well, I
at it,
think that's
guys.
like, yeah, that's the main thing is that we've started the fight. It is uphill, but again, it's not over and we're continuing. And I guess we're going to kind of turn into like the week by week update. Cause I mean, again, we're going to see how things turn out after, what is it? The committee, right?
Yeah, the committee.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
safety
So
committee. Yeah,
after it gets through the committee, we'll see what happens if it gets tabled again for a third reading, if there's been amendments or anything like that. Now members of the other parties have been able to kind of have access to what has been written out. Because again, this is just like so everyone calm down because this is a piece of legislation that was put forward. There needs to be say.
yeah. It's a piece of paper right now. Yeah, it's a napkin. Like someone said that last week, right? It's just a piece of napkin right now, drawn out, ugly,
It's a
but
napkin drawing, yeah.
they give it to the experts and be like, work on this, right?
Mm.
That's unfortunate. That was Bill Blair, so he got the end of the stick there. But there we don't want to go through the political sort of like
Well, we
theater.
want to stay out.
Yeah, we don't want to go to the political theater saying like, oh yeah, this is like something for the re-election process or just they need to distract something. We're not in it for that, guys. We are in it to save our sport, airsoft.
Yeah.
Right.
We don't want to be abused for some sort of election
Yeah.
like leverage.
But we are working hard here at ASIC, the group that I'm part of, and we are working hard to make sure we talk to the right people. We talk to proper groups. We gather intelligence, meaning data from every corner of BC and as well as Canada, and we have plans to attack them. In terms of politically, in terms of economically, and in terms of the people strength that we have. Right. So it's a lot of options here. We're just the only thing we ask for is just stay calm.
Exactly.
And we'll take care of this. If we need something, we'll ask it. The best thing you can do, contact your MP.
Okay, so and then to add to that, boy, just because I know that there's going to be a lot of people that are standing on the fringe and they're wondering what they can do. So again, if you've already contacted your MPs and everything like that, thank you, great. If you haven't, something you should consider doing. Besides that, all of the organizations that Poi has listed and everything like that, when it comes to helping, okay, communities in small municipalities, fields, province wide, just everyone's banded together. So I'm sure somewhere in your guys' area, if you're watching this from outside of BC, outside of our Panther community, right? I know that they're because we are right now in contacts with everyone all across all provinces. Everyone's banded together. So if you guys are wondering things that you can do, reach out to your local community heads. If you don't know who those people are, okay, you can talk to Airsoft in Canada, and they will help point you guys in the right direction. Because again, we're all in this together.
Yep. And as your BC sort of representative
Yes,
for
you
the
are.
main body, it's a lot of hard work, honestly. And
Yes.
if you guys need to like get something out or anything like that, ask me as well. If you
Mhm.
really think you could help, if you know how to like write sort of like regulations or anything legal wise, come to me as well. Or if you got in contact with a Liberal MP or an NDP MP and they decide to, hey, what's this all about? Or it's not the generic, hey, we've read your letter, this is an auto response. Let us know, because this will tell us if there are fractures in the Liberal or the NDP, in a way that will help us, because any small thing will help us right now in terms of getting through the main opposing, or the people who introduced this bill, right? So like anything will help if you get through them or you know them. That's why, and I think it was in BC Airsoft, I asked if anyone lived in South Surrey, because of the fact that, or not South Surrey, South Burnaby South. That's like the headquarters of, I think, Jagmeet Singh, and
Yeah,
he's a key guy to get to, right? Because he is one of those guys that that is so sort of like modern in terms of like connecting with people and
Mhm.
connecting with with the younger generation. That it would be nice to see if we could connect with him, because our cultures basically match in terms of airsoft is, right? It's airsoft has a lot of young people in it, and we'll see how it goes, but nothing right now, because I think they're just trying to avoid all of these touchy subjects right now. But in any cases, just keep hammering away at your MP. Again, they can't ignore us. Yeah. Um. Other than that, that's pretty much it. I don't have anything to add here. I don't want to drag this on. We're just gonna sound like a broken record, honestly.
Mhm.
But still a long fight. You know, I'm gonna still go at this. I have a lot to lose, honestly.
Boy, tell
Um,
me how many hours of sleep you've had this week.
actually, last night I had a pretty good sleep. I was actually working from home today, so I didn't have to sort of drive to work at 6 a.m. just to get to
So,
work, just
so
to
that
get
was
to
the
work,
so
and
that was the
then
first
work,
time.
and then work for the next 4 hours on just answering people's emails, and as well as like attending some of these meetings that I'm going into, and then at lunchtime I'll actually do my work, my real work.
So about 2 hours.
Uh, well, it's a good thing they're back. Like the people that I'm working at are back east, so they work really
Yeah,
early.
the
So
time difference.
by
Is,
3 a.m. my phone's already ringing.
you're
Thank you
catching up.
Maritimes.
Yeah,
Thank you
exactly.
Maritimes for waking me up. And then by 8 o'clock ish, it kind of calms down because they're all going to sleep and it's 12 o'clock over there, right? So
Going into lunch break or something.
yeah. Either way, I'm gonna keep fighting this. I love the community so much that I'm just gonna keep doing this. If you have any interviews that are coming up, please let me know as well. Message me on Facebook or on Instagram, and yeah, let me know. I will go through some coaching with you, help you out, and if we could pass it along to someone else, we'll do that too.
Mhm.
Dayton's done a pretty good job getting interviewed by a lot of these media. He's used to it. So if you're nervous about it, you could also pass it along to him. If you can't reach him,
Mhm.
come to me and then I could reach to him as well.
Mhm.
All right. So that is it for episode 36 of, what is this? Update number 3 on Bill C-21. I don't even know how many updates we have gone through this.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
it's
It is three.
update.
That's why I
Yeah,
was
update three.
asking. I was asking about your
And
sleep.
yeah, if you haven't signed the e-petition, actually, make sure
Mhm.
you sign it. It
Mhm.
proves that we exist, and we
Mhm.
exist in a greater number, which is
Mhm.
awesome. It is one of the fastest petition that they had in a while. And yeah, it proves that we exist. So,
Mm.
anyways, petitions down below. And anyways, we'll see you guys on the next podcast.
All right, guys. This has been Poi, Mac, and Tack.
All right.
Catch you guys later.
Goodbye, guys.
Bye.